Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So, I haven't made one of these in a few days, which is good, isn't it? Finally slowing down. I still haven't done anything with the minute truth silence thing. I need to see if I can find emails of people to pass it on to see if they think it's a good idea and mention it. And previously I was I've been catching up on different people's videos, Mel's, Beyond the Imaginary Curve, Mr. Cheswick, Joan of Worms, Eye Level Awakening, all different ones that I've been watching. And obviously Sheeps and Neeps. And it was very difficult watching that one because there was a moment in it, and I'm sure everyone was incensed when they heard, well, there was many moments actually, but this one was the worst, was when they told Des that someone complained where he was out sitting on the grass, and then they were saying something like the person thought he was unwell or something like that. Now, I don't know if I heard that correctly, but that's what I thought I heard the lady say to Des, that someone complained that you were sitting on the grass and you thought you were unwell. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's actually the problem with this? Is it sitting on the grass? Is it one of those types of things, like Norman Wisdom not being allowed to walk on the grass? Or is it like you're being treated like a child? Or is it the fact that someone thought, the insensitivity of a cancer patient showing their illness to other people? I mean, I just don't understand what, and it reduced Des to tears. I don't think I've ever seen Des cry. He's a very strong individual. If you've seen any of his Sheeps and Neeps live streams, he was reduced to crying and said something like, I'm trying my best, or something like that. And it just instantly, when I saw that, and by what the lady had said, the nurse had said to him, it was like he was like a child. She was treating him like that, and it's almost like it was just so uncalled for and unfair. I mean, Des is, by all accounts, for himself, hasn't got long to go, unless something, that the alternative treatment he's using works, which is always a possibility, because I sent him a story that I found. It was on Facebook, so I don't know how valid it is. It was from the Daily Mirror, actually, about cannabis oil, and this mother this child had the chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and was, I should read it out actually, but he was on the way out, and they'd been told that, and then they decided to ease his pain. They would smuggle in cannabis oil that they made themselves, and they gave it to him, and then the next day he was still there, and they carried on, and he was getting better and better, and now he's recovered, or I don't know if it's remission or recovered, or whatever the technical term is for it, but he didn't die. So they were wondering whether there's some link to that. I mean, this is not an isolated story. There's many stories of this. So I'm confused why the pharmaceutical companies, why NHS, why governments, hospital trusts aren't doing tests on this. Maybe it only works for certain individuals or certain cancers, I don't know, but there's always hope. But it incensed me and everyone else who was listening to that live stream that he could be told off for sitting on the grass. Whose grass is it for you ever to be told that you can't sit on it? unless you're God. And if you don't believe in God, then there's no one. It's everyone's grass. This just goes back to this whole possession thing. And then also the fact also that he can't, that he's not allowed to show his illness. And she said to him something, that was, I remember, she said to him, oh, you should go sleep, you should go behind the bike sheds, like hide him away. And it was another incident where it's funny how she talked to him like made him into a child, because that's the type of thing you would say at school when people used to smoke behind the bike sheds. But the fact that to tell him, a person who's suffering with cancer, to go hide behind the bike shed so no one else can feel uneasy at seeing someone suffering. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting, and I would expect an apology from that nurse. That is unacceptable. You're attacking the wrong person. You should be telling the person who came and complained that this is a palliative care hospital, or it's a hospital, and that you should expect to see suffering, and you're a fellow human being. You're meant to feel suffering, you're meant to feel something. But to see Des crying his eyes out, it was so cruel and unacceptable. And then it made me, a few days later, I'm thinking about that, and then I'm thinking about my twins who they're 18 months now. And I was just thinking about, I don't know if it was the music or because I was tired, I was playing to try and get them to sleep. It was a little bit sad, slow, and I was just getting emotional, and I started crying a little bit, thinking about how we give birth to children, that we won't be there when they pass to hold their hands, because I guess it's because I'm seeing the twins as needing us to do everything, and and obviously when they grow up they're capable of doing all these things, but just that very fact that you'll be gone and they'll have to suffer the end themselves without their mother or father holding their hand, it just made me really sad. And I don't know if it's just sometimes life is very unfair in that. I mean, I know I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be ungrateful. I know obviously I'm very grateful for everything that I've got. I'm very lucky in certain things, but it's just so unfair that the way parting is death, that we all have to experience. Is one of the very truths. Like being born and dying. Well, currently, unless they find a way to stop us dying, but I don't think that will ever happen. But yeah, it is a very somber, sad subject to think about, and it just sometimes feels very unfair that people have to suffer and people have to die alone or without those loved ones by them, or not getting that treatment of being with loved ones. The difference that it makes. We all have to go through this journey, but if you have someone there holding your hand who loves you, and it makes it a lot easier. But it's just, parting is from this world to the next or this existence to whatever is next, is very painful and sad. I mean, I know that doesn't need saying, we all know that. Anyway, I've depressed me and you, I'm sure, enough now. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.